Now, a lot of people don't know much about the Rolex 24. Tell us about the rotation, how you guys work that, who's in, who's out, taking your rest breaks for driving that full 24 hours.
Last year we had 4 drivers, and I drove for the Gamesco team that's based here in Texas. We had 4 drivers. It was Alex Gurney, John Fogerty, myself, and Jimmie Vasser. And we actually rotated through, I think, close to that order. But as you get to different parts of the race, there are guys that do better in the rain, and I happen to be one of those. So they made sure they got me in the car in the rain. Fogerty is amazing in the rain as well. So they kind of changed the rotation, made sure John got in after I did, and things like that. But it's fun, and it's really tough because you get started. The years before, we only had 3 drivers, and at best you get a 2 or 3 hour nap if you're lucky. So you get out of the car, you debrief. They have a masseuse there, and somebody stretch you, and then they fill you full of fluids, give you a big, chicken and pasta meal, and then bug landed on the turn the lights off until you go to sleep. But the sun's up. How are you going to rest?
Exactly.
And then you get maybe 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours in your bus to chill out, and then they want you in the pit area an hour before you're due in the car.
Right.
So you're sitting there, helmet on for an hour, just waiting, like, okay, come on, put me in, put me in. And it really tests you mentally and physically throughout the course of the night. 4 drivers was easier, but I missed all those laps that I had with just 3 guys.
Right. Well, talking about doing different types of racing like that, haven't done much of it here recently, but any plans next year? First of all, you got a new teammate coming on board next year over there in Henry. But moving forward, any possible chances of you seeing a Nationwide or possibly jumping in a truck next year in 09?
I absolutely hate driving a Nationwide car, and I'm terrible at it. I don't have any plans to. I'm not sure what will develop between now and then, and if Junior needs me to run a race or if Rick needs me to get in the car for whatever reason. I'm a team player. I'll be there, but I do those cars a disservice driving them. I'm not any good at them. Never have been. The truck I had fun with, and it was a neat way to get me some more seat time at Bristol, and we had Cobalt tools on the cars. So if the right situation comes along, yes. But outside of that, I'd rather just stick to my Cup car.
I got you. And there you go. And I think these fans would love to just see you stay in that Cup car, especially with the success you're having. But another question we've been asking all weekend, what's the Chevrolet in your garage that you drive most on a day-to-day basis?
Well, lately it's been that ZR1 that I got.
Yeah, Jeff was talking about that the other day.
That thing, my neighbors hate me. There's black marks up and down every street. That thing is a monster.
He told you guys, and tell me if this is true or not, he said you guys went to pick those things up and test drive them up there at the headquarters, and they said no burnout. He said that lasted all of about 3 seconds. Is that true?
Yes, it is. We pull up, and they had a bunch of people from the museum out, this reception, some media and stuff there, and we're looking at the cars, and I see the keys are in the car, the little fob thing, and I'm like, I'm out of here. So we're supposed to take photos first and do all this stuff, and I'm like, I got to drive this thing, and big sign says no burnouts, and I saw the sign as I was in the middle of a burnout going by. That's going to be a problem.
Commercial material right there. You know.
And there's a very cool road, windy road next to the museum, and I took it through the paces there. And then have it home, and it's in my garage. I try to drive it as often as possible. But my everyday car is my Tahoe. I just run around my Tahoe.
Definitely a good car. A couple of the other different guys said they have it out there. Now, Clint was up here. Clint Bowyer was telling us about his Harley. Got any Harleys at home, too?
I have a Harley. I have a West Coast Customs, Orange County.
You got to get that right.
What it is. OCC chopper.
The OCC
that Sunoco helped me build. That's why I don't know much about it, because they were nice enough to give it to me. And then I have this huge, it's like a 1100cc engine on this big chopper that they gave me for Driver of the Year or 2 ago.
Nice.
And I mean, it's a cool bike, makes a lot of noise, it's a lot of motor, but you cannot turn this thing in a 10-acre field. I mean, the brake on the front of it is so bad. I'm intimidated to ride it because you can't even make a 90-degree turn at a stoplight. But it makes a lot of noise and looks cool.
Well, they got some cool toys, it sounds like. One more question we get a lot of questions from the fans, and you're a great spokesman for the sport of NASCAR, and especially for young drivers. You're definitely a role model to look up to. If you could give a young person that's trying to get started in racing, stay focused, and all that stuff, trying to get into the sport, what's the #1 piece of advice you could give to youngsters that want to get involved in racing, any kind of racing?
There's nothing easy about it, and it's got to be something that you love and you want to do and you're willing to sacrifice for. I'm one of, I don't even know what the odds are, but millions that get this chance, and it's worked out and it's been amazing. But if you get in it just thinking that's gonna work out for you, it's not the career path to choose. It's got to be something that you love and you're willing to dedicate your life to and be a part of. And that's what I think makes our sport so different and why we have such a great fan base is because people can relate to those drivers because they're people that want to be there. Right. We don't come up through a farm system and have people kissing their butts telling us we're great all the time and, oh yeah, here's a scholarship, go play over here, and yeah, we'll take you to the big leagues or whatever it is. I mean, you got to dedicate everything to make it in the sport. And I think we relate that's why our sport's so strong.
And we were talking about that earlier because a lot of these guys get their start on these Saturday night racetracks. And how fun is it racing on Saturday night other than like some of these local tracks? Probably haven't done it in a while, but how fun is that?
I haven't done it in a long time, and I didn't spend a lot of time doing that to start with. I was out in the desert, right, and I guess I was under lights in the stadiums racing off-road trucks, but I have not driven a late model many times, maybe a dozen times at all, and then I got into the ASA series and then the Nationwide. So my first year in Cup was my 5th year on the asphalt. Right. It was a fast course to get things going.
Well, with Saturday night racing also comes the Saturday night lights. We've been talking about that this weekend a little bit as well. Do you have a preference? Would you rather race under the light? I mean, obviously the atmosphere is different, but do you prefer the lights or the sunlight?
I like a hot, quick racetrack. I do think, though, we put on a better show, and it's really about the show running at night. The toughest thing for me about a night race is you got to wait until 5 o'clock before your day starts. Right. And you try to stay up late Friday night and sleep in, but it's impossible. And it's just racing's on the brain. You wake up at 7 or 8 in the morning, and you sit there wanting to race. Like today, I was up at 6 o'clock. I'm like, why does the time have to change this week? Because I could have at least slept at 7. And I'm just sitting there wide awake. I'm like, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day.
Well, obviously you have several appearances you need to make before you get to the race car, but once it's time, you're done with your appearances. Any rituals to get your mind focused before you get into that race car so you can stay focused and keep that thing at the front of the pack?
Really, I just make sure I eat a lot, stretch, and get ready. There's times when turning some music on, you tell us long enough I'm stressed out or tense. Good music that I've enjoyed over the years, I'll switch to, but outside of that, it's really about getting some grub in the belly and go to work, because we're out there for a long time. It's easy to run out here.
Well, I think it's time for you to get some grub in your belly, and we're looking forward to you taking that number 48 loads machine to victory lane this afternoon. We definitely want to thank you for coming out. So go get it today, and hopefully you'll get that 3rd championship here in a couple of weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, put your hands together for driver, the number 48 Lowe's Chevrolet, Mr. Jimmie Johnson. Guys, stick around. Don't go anywhere. Here shortly, we're going to have the Jolie Holiday Band coming on stage. We're going to have several giveaways. We got